In this session, we are going to study about the introduction part of this unit. For this unit, we have referred some books like R.K. Bansal, S.S. Rattan, Ramaruttam, S.S. Bhavikatti, D.K. Sarkar, then B.R. Johnston, Ryder, Popo, Mizoram Patel, Andrew Patel and Hugh Salus, R.C. Hibbeler. So at the end of the session, the learners will be able to understand the sign convention of the shear force and bending moment diagrams. So we know that there are various types of the beams. For us, we will restrict to the three types only. One is the simply supported beam. So this is an example of the simply supported beam. Second is the cantilever beam, and third is the overhanging beam. Simply supported beam is a pin at one end, so it will be pin at one end and roller supported at the other. So there will be roller support at the other, so that beam will be called as the simply supported beam. So this is the length between the two support, L will be given and the load will be applied on the beam. Second type is that a cantilever beam is fixed at one end, so it will be fixed at one end and at the another end. So it will be free at the other end. So that beam will be called as the cantilever beam. Third type is an overhanging beam has one or both ends freely extended. So this part is freely extended after the support. This is a single overhanging beam. Single end is overhanging and its ends freely extended over the supports. So these are the three types of the beams which we are going to study, we are going to use in our syllabus. Then types of the loads. So first one is if a load is acting on a beam over a small length, it is approximated as acting at a midpoint of that length and is represented by an arrow. So the point load or concentrated load will be acting at one point. So for the calculation purpose, we are assuming that it will be converted to point load and then we find out the reaction. What are the reactions are there? So that we will be find out R1 and R2 in the supports. Second type of the load is uniformly distributed load. So this is the example of this one. So over considerably long distance, such loads has got uniformly intensity. So they will be uniformly distributed over the length. Third one is uniformly varying load. The load varies from A to B. So this is A point and B point. Its intensity is 0 at the A point. So here the intensity of load is 0 and it will vary from 0 to W0 at the fixed end. So that beam is called as the uniform. That type of load will be called as uniformly varying load. Now there are some procedures to find out the shear force diagram and bending moment diagrams. The following is a general procedure for obtaining shear force and bending moment diagrams of statically determinate beams. First one is compute the support reactions from the free body diagram of the entire beam. So as you learn to find out the reactions of the beam, and when you apply the load, you can be able to find out the reactions. Then draw the load diagram of the beam, which is essentially a free body diagram showing the values of the loads including the support reaction. So we have to draw the loading diagram showing the loads and the reactions. Then third one, use the sign conventions to determine the correct sign of each load. So we have to use the proper sign conventions for a load, upward load and upward vertical load and downward load. For that one, different sign conventions are used. Working from right to left, construct the shear force and bending moment diagrams for each segment of the beam. When you reach to the left end of the beam, check to see whether the computed values of the shear force and bending moment are consistent with the end condition or not. If they are not matching, then you have made an error in the computation. So there is a checkpoint that what are the end reaction and the computed values should be matching. Then what is the shear force and what is the bending moment? So shear force is the algebraic sum of all the vertical forces acting to the left hand side or the right hand side of the cut section. So on any beam, we have to take a section, and either left hand side of the section or the right hand side of the section, whatever the vertical loads are there, we have to take the algebraic summation of that one. So that will be equal to the shear force. Then second is bending moment, is the algebraic sum of all the moment of the forces to the left hand side or to the right hand side of the section taken about the section. So we have to consider one section, and then whatever the bending moment will be there, we have to find out and make the algebraic sum of that moment. So there is for drawing the shear force and bending moment diagram, so we have to follow this table. So this table shows that suppose shear force diagram, in the case of the shear force diagram, if there is between two point loads or no load region, if there is no load between the 2 point load, then the shear force diagram will be shown as horizontal line. If there is uniformly distributed load, the shear force diagram will be shown as an inclined line. And when there is uniformly varying load between the 2 points, 2 degree curve will be shown for the shear force diagram. In the case of bending moment diagram, if for the point load, if there is no region, then it should be drawn with the horizontal line, inclined line. For the uniformly distributed load, the bending moment diagram will have the 2 degree curve, and for the uniformly varying load, the bending moment diagram will have the 3 degree curve. So these are the sign conventions we are using. Suppose that this this diagram is showing that. Suppose that we take the section here. This is the left hand side of the beam, and this is the right hand side. If you consider the left hand side, then whatever the shear force going downward will be taken as positive, and whatever the shear force going upward will be taken as negative. Whereas in the right hand side sign convention, whatever the loads coming downward, whatever the loads are coming down are taken positive, whatever the reactions coming upward will be taken as negative. So this is the sign convention we are using. Similarly, for the bending moment, on the right hand side, if the bending moment is normally will be equal to the load into distance, it is a product of load into distance. So whatever the bending moment is going in the anti-clockwise direction, so this direction is anti-clockwise, it will be treated as positive, and the bending moment in the right hand side going in the clockwise direction will be taken as negative. So these are the sign conventions we are following to draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Let us see what is that. What is the meaning of that? Suppose that find the internal reaction at the points indicated. All axial force reactions are 0 and the points are 2 meter apart. So suppose that this is the simply supported beam, and then we apply the load of 20 kilonewton at a distance of 8 meter from the this right side end, and the 12 meter from the left hand side. So according to sign convention, we are using from the right hand side to the left hand side. So first one is that we have seen that we have to first find out the reactions, then draw the loading diagram, and then we have to start from right hand side. So first find out the shear force at this point. Then next is this is the point. Suppose that C point. Find out the shear force at this point, and then last one is what is the shear force at the left end. So we are using the sign convention. Whatever the loads going downward are positive. Whatever the reactions are there going upward are negative. Suppose that we find out the reaction, and then at this point, this is the reaction going upward. So upward means negative sign, minus 12. So it is showing at minus 12. At this point, the shear force is minus 12. So this is the baseline. So at the baseline, the value of the shear force is 0. Minus value will be drawn at the line below to the baseline, and the positive values will be drawn up on the upside of the baseline. Similarly, for the this bending moment diagram, whatever the moment going in the anti-clockwise direction will be taken as positive, and whatever the bending moment going in the clockwise direction will be taken as negative. On this point, the bending moment is 0. We have to find out the bending moment above this point. So in this diagram, it has shown that at the 2 meter point, what is the shear force and bending moment, and then the diagram is drawn. So likewise, we have to find out the first reaction, then find out the shear force diagram, and then finally find out the bending moment diagrams. Then what is the slope of this line? The slope of the line is 96 km upon 12 meter, that is 8 km. So 8 km is the reaction at this point. Similarly, the slope of the line is 12 km. Then what is the area of the blue rectangle is? It is 96 kilonewton into meter, and rectangle here is 12 into it, that is 96 kilonewton meter. There are some conclusion from the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. The magnitude of the shear at a point equals the slope of the moment diagram at that point. Second is that the area under the shear diagram between 2 points equals the change in moments between those 2 points. And third one is that at points where the shear is 0, the moment is local maximum or minimum. So there is a relationship between the load, shear and the bending moment. So Wx will be equal to load function. Px, that is vertical shear force, will be equal to integration of Wx into dx, and the bending moment at the x section will be equal to integration of that is Vx into dx. So there are some common relationship between these one. So we are showing, as we are seeing the previous table, if the load is there, then the shear force diagram will be shown by the constant. This line is constant, horizontal line will be constant. Similarly, for this, if the point load is there, then we have to draw the bending moment, we have to draw the inclined line. Similarly, if the UDL is there between the 2 points, the shear force will be shown with the linear line, inclined line, and the shear force will be shown by the parabolic curve in the bending moment. Similarly, if the UVL is there, we have to show the parabolic curve for the shear force diagram, and in the case of bending moment, we show the cubic curve. So another example is that we are overhanging beam. First, find out the reaction RA and RC, and then find out the shear force diagram and bending moment diagrams. So in the next session, we'll see how to find out the shear force and bending moment diagrams.